What we're seeing the next big thing in payments to be is cross-border real-time payments. So a move away from where we are on international transactions today into a new world. This is coming about now, and the reason I believe it's the next big thing is because we're actually at a point where infrastructure is capable of supporting that on a mass basis. So we're reaching the end of the global ISO rollout, hopefully by November 2025, so it's not too far away.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. Buckle up your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This one is going to be one for the record books. I'm going to be showing you guys information from industry-leading experts in this space that have written virtual asset regulation, telling you all that this pretty much in a nutshell is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to adopt these digital assets before the masses and financial institutions onboard into this space. We have such an advantage right now as early adopters in this crypto and digital asset ecosystem. You are not going to want to miss a beat of today's video breakdown. So with that being said, if you enjoy these videos showing you guys panel discussions and fundamentals that never really reach the mainstream, do us a favor, help this platform grow, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I'm going to set the tone for today's video breakdown by showing you guys from perspectives from other panelists on stage talking about how 1 out of 10 people or hardly anybody knows that this is even taking place. Take a second here and let's listen.
Like even with PayPal and so on, but no one knows. You see, it's the role of the actors of the blockchains and that Web3 ecosystem to raise the awareness and let's say give the people what they are looking for. It's not mainstream. Let's be honest. No one, 1 out of 10 knows the actuality on the blockchain.
Right? 1 out of 10 people know the actuality of the blockchain, right? Nobody's really paying attention to this. And I've tried to show you guys this time and time again via the fundamentals and the video clips that I play, showing you guys that barely anybody are even watching them. Okay. Moving on, let's jump into some fundamentals that are so phenomenal to read through that I want to share with you guys today. I want to first explain who it is that we're going to be hearing these things from. All right. So this is back from July 8th, 2024. Let me share a screen so you guys can actually see this fundamental piece. Commonwealth honors Loretta Joseph in her work with the new model law for digital assets. So we're going to be reading through a fundamental piece and hearing some video clips of Loretta Joseph speak, just so you guys understand who she is. She's an expert legal advisor with more than a quarter of a century of experience in financial services. Loretta's extensive career has provided her with deep exposure to global financial markets, various asset classes, and emerging environments. She has advised various countries on developing and legal and regulatory frameworks for virtual assets. She has also advised the OECD and the OSCE while being a legal expert, industry participant in many international standard-setting bodies concerning the adoption of virtual assets. Okay. So again, I suggest that you listen to what it is that she has to say if you don't have more credentials than this individual here. Okay. Now, if you head over to her X profile, she actually has reposted a couple of our posts here on X. For example, I posted a video live of myself and Mr. Aqua talking about the global adoption of digital assets and cryptocurrencies, proving to you guys that financial institutions are interested in adopting these assets. This specific title reads, XRPL 100% proof institutions hold XRP. On her X profile, she reposted that. But more particularly, if you scroll down, this is aging so well. Back on June 14th, I said to you guys, this is probably one of the most important 2-minute clips that you will ever watch in your lifetime. Pay attention. Listen to what she says here. And I've talked about this and how it's such a massive opportunity.
Now, what we've seen in the last 2 years, when I was writing laws in 2017, 2018 around ICOs, Bitcoin, blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, nobody cared. Nobody really cared. Move to 2024. I've got to worry about DeFi. I need to worry about smart contracts, audits of smart contracts, the metaverse. Things like Web3 is now allowed entrepreneurs across the emerging world. Do I really, really care what Bitcoin price does? We'll vote a lot of it, yes, but it's still a speculative asset and it's very volatile. So take that out of the equation for a minute. But the emerging world where you don't have access to a banking system, and I work in Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, 97% of people don't have access to financial inclusion. We in Australia have 98%, Canada, the rest of the world. You flip that on the head. All of a sudden you give people a smart device, a stable coin, a wallet. You can create with Web3, move value. We can transfer value and assets like we've never seen in history. And that is the killer app. And you will see the development of that in the next 6 months in the emerging world like we've never seen anything.
Individuals right now in the lowest income earning areas in Africa compared to individuals in the highest income earning area in, for example, I don't know, the United States and Malibu, California, have now the same exact access to the new financial system with nothing but a mobile phone and an internet connection. And that is so exponential. And it is changing the course of our history right now as we speak. For you not to get involved in this new financial system, it is honestly, it's ignorance and fear combined. It's so insane that people are neglecting to educate themselves on what is happening. With that being said, all right, that video clip is going to lead us into this fundamental piece. This is from August 23rd, 2024. So it's not too old, only about a month old. Joseph Loretta, the managing director of Policy Group, has been in the online space for years, writing the model for virtual assets for the Commonwealth, a trade organization that brings together some 56 countries and 2.5 billion people, 1.5 billion of whom are under 30. Her consultancy worked with the Financial Action Task Force, the ruling standard body behind all things financial, and with the Organization for Economic Cooperation Development, or the OECD, has not only helped shape recommendations and encourage growth in developing countries, but also has encouraged the right questions at the right times. Digital finance, she says, is going to be much bigger than anything that we have seen in traditional financial worlds in the next 18 months. That puts us, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 2025, rolling into 2026. She also goes on to note that in the same period, every asset will be tokenized, from buying McDonald's in the metaverse to gambling in Macau. That is so exponential. She also says here, looking specifically at one type of virtual asset, the finance expert notes, crypto adoption is on the rise, and it's only going to get better in the next 5 to 10 years. Everyone on the planet will own some sort of crypto, every institution and every single individual, which is so massive to hear from an industry leading expert that has literally written regulations in this space. Okay. I mean, can you get any more clear than that? All right. So just to confirm here what she's saying and back a second opinion, here's another industry leading expert, suggesting the same exact thing, that everybody in the future will own some sort of digital asset / cryptocurrency. Take a second here and listen.
There's Cosmo Jang is our portfolio manager for our liquid token fund. Very brilliant guy. And he makes the argument that in 10 or 20 years, cryptocurrencies are going to take significant market share from public equity in terms of capitalizing businesses. It's a better governance structure. It's easier to do. The public will probably demand it once there's enough years for everyone to get comfortable with holding cryptocurrency.
Right. So this is an individual representative, I believe, from Pantera Capital, if I'm not mistaken. And look at this, just to show you guys what I'm talking about, to confirm back what the previous panelist said about how nobody knows about this. He just projected that demand will only continue to increase, right? That a lot of the money from traditional finance will come into the cryptocurrency market over the coming years. This has 66 views, people. 66 freaking views. People dancing on TikTok and on Twitter right now, doing some funky little dance to some trendy song, has millions of views. This has 66 freaking views. And I can guarantee you probably 12 of these individuals that watch this video are CYPRX researchers. So, I mean, wow, just insane that nobody's paying attention. Moving on. All right. This is a individual. This is, let me just show you guys, Vice President Payment Solutions at CGI. And what it is that they're talking about here is exactly what Loretta Joseph was talking about, how there is a new world, how everything is changing. And just listen to the dates that this individual projects. He talks about November 2025, which kind of correlates with what Loretta Joseph said, that over the next 18 months, which puts us towards the end of 2025, rolling into 2026 timeframe, everything's going to change. And then we're going to get into a fundamental piece that I released on the X profile, where I said to you guys here, I just want to share this tab because this is what I was talking about by pay attention to who it is that you soak up information on. So many people are misled to believe rumors and just like illogical things that, like, for example, Swift is going away. Swift is not going away, albeit, yes, there are systems being built that are going to work either alongside of Swift or outside of the Swift network. But Swift itself, ladies and gentlemen, is not going away. For anybody to think that that's happening, They don't understand the financial system and what it currently operates on. Okay, because if SWIFT went away, it would be such a fundamental change and shift. There would have to be some sort of suffering that takes place because of how many systems run on the SWIFT network right now. That's not happening. Okay. Yes, there is a shift away from SWIFT operating systems, but SWIFT itself is not going away. So I posted here to you guys. Influencers who sold you the lie that SWIFT is being replaced don't seem to be aging very well, because SWIFT just recently announced global banks to use SWIFT for trailing live digital asset transactions from 2025. This is from October 3rd, 2024. Banks across North America, Europe, and Asia will use SWIFT connectivity to conduct live trials of digital asset and currency transactions as innovation accelerates from experimental phases to real-world application phases. And also, after listening to this gentleman speak, we're going to play the video clips, but we're going to come back to that. Look at what Chainlink just announced here. Take a second here and listen.
Years now, we've been collaborating with SWIFT to bring you the ability to use SWIFT messages and SWIFT standards in order to efficiently interact with blockchains with minimal additional investment by your institutions. I'm very happy to say that this diagram that we presented in the second pilot with SWIFT last year has now become a reality. So now we are in a pre-production stage where we can start offering you something that you can actually start using with your existing institutional systems.
Right. So SWIFT is not going away. And you can see people in the comments, it's just ignorance at this point. You got this individual, King Zerp, right? Again, credentials. Individuals with credentials are telling you guys SWIFT's not going away. Individuals with no credentials on Twitter just talking out of their you-know-what have opinions on the internet. Stop following opinions and instead follow the research. We got this individual right here. He said, I guess you missed the BRICS summit today where they specifically discussed moving away from the SWIFT system, right? Yes, some jurisdictions are moving away from the SWIFT system, but a lot of jurisdictions are not and rely heavily on the SWIFT system, right? So don't think just because some influencer on the internet that lives in their mom's basement told you that SWIFT's going away, that it's going away. Listen to people with valid credentials, right? Back to this video clip, just to coexist with what Loretta Joseph said about everything going digital and transitioning over to, the new financial system by, the next 18 months. Listen to what this individual here says.
The answer. So naturally, the first thing I need to ask you is, what is the next big thing in payments?
Well, this is quite a fun thing because I get to share a little bit of a secret with you. And what we're seeing the next big thing in payments to be is cross-border real-time payments. So a move away from where we are on international transactions today into a new world. This is coming about now, and the reason I believe it's the next big thing is because we're actually at a point where infrastructure is capable of supporting that on a mass basis. So we're reaching the end of the global ISO rollout, hopefully by November 2025, so it's not too far away. We're seeing a lot of mandates in different countries.
Right, so he says hopefully all this takes place by November 2025. That's not too far away. There's immature people, investors in this space right now. I don't even want to call them investors. They're here for a quick fix that will get, distorted and mentally unorganized because they have to wait another year or two for all of this to play out. When you look at it zooming out and, 3-5 years from now, we look back, 3 to 5 years is not a real long time. I've said this before. Mature investors, individuals that actually want to progress in their trading and their investing career, they actually have a 5-year plan. So another year to 2 years to wait for all of this to really come into fruition and see trillions of dollars scale into this space, it's not a long time, people. I mean, it's really, truly not, if you really think about it, okay? So anyways, I just wanted you all to hear him say that because he mentions 2025 November, which kind of coexists with what Loretta Joseph said about this all taking place over the next 18 months and us having a shift away from traditional finance. Now, he actually does say the words shifting away from traditional finance, but then I want you guys to listen to what he says here to confirm what I mentioned to you all, how SWIFT is not going away. This is coming from the vice president of payment solutions at CGI. If you don't have more credentials than this individual, then again, I suggest that you listen, right? Listen to what he says here about SWIFT not going away, how yes, there is a slight shift away from SWIFT via some jurisdictions, but SWIFT is not going away. Take a second here and listen to what he says.
And see the introduction of things like the Wero wallet which the EPI have just introduced, which again could be a real interesting game changer in this if we start to see different types of payments floating across the networks. That's more on the retail side. But where it gets really, really interesting is as we move into B2B channels. So starting to look at the way that real time is being used domestically. So here in the UK, of course, we've got a £1 million limit on B2B transactions for real time payments. Naturally, that won't happen in cross-border from day one. We will start to see sort of a migration of the different types of payments into this real time, perhaps away from the more traditional methods of sending money internationally, such as SWIFT.
Right, so you've mentioned SWIFT there. From what you're saying, is this to replace the SWIFT network?
No, definitely not. I think there's definitely going to always be a necessity for a backbone infrastructure that helps banks to move money internationally and create settlement around the world. What this starts to do is to move those front-end transactions. There's been a realization at SWIFT for a number of years that this was coming, and you can see in the way that they've been building their network over the past few years some of the announcements they'll be making at CYPRX this year. So the introduction of API-based connectivity into the SWIFT network, the introduction of the GPI initiative, so we get more transparency in payments, and the move towards Swift Go, which is of course the Swift entry in this space. We really see that there is other players in this space as well. I mean, Visa and MasterCard recognized that this was something that was coming, and you can see that through some of the purchases they've made in this space.
Right. So I'll leave it there. He talks about how Swift is not going away. You can see that Swift is continuing to make massive announcements, integrations with blockchain organizations like Chainlink. I mean, wow. So I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Again, if you're here in the now, make sure that you're soaking up valid information. You saw individuals that are in the space right now, writing regulations, reposting things that we have posted to you guys here at CYPRX. I mean, I don't know how to get more clear than that we're putting out valid information. Like literally individuals that are writing regulations have reposted our information. Okay. So make sure that you guys are buckled down. Make sure that you're joining like-minded communities like ours or many others out there, because there are good other like-minded communities and researchers that are pumping out valid information. Don't be misled to believe a false narrative. Understand that over the next coming months/years, we're going to see exponential growth, give or take some short tailwinds to the downside that could unfold because risks still remain in this market, as we are still in the nascent early stages of this internet crazy massive digital asset adoption phase. But understand the longevity of this space, zoom out, have a good long-term perspective, buckle down, do research on utility-driven assets that are committing themselves to ongoing developments and partnerships behind the scenes with the largest banks and organizations. I cannot stress enough that now is the time to not F up this opportunity. With that being said, none of this is financial advice. Many blessings to you guys. If you enjoyed this video breakdown, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. If you want access to this type of research on a daily basis, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We'd love to have you on the Discord. This is the type of stuff and information that we share and talk about inside the private CYPRX Discord on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. As always, keep your head up out there. Many blessings, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.